First of all, I'll just say that all of the things that I'm about to say are my own personal views and not the views of the US government, the Department of Defense, the National Defense University, or the NISA Center. To start with, I have to agree with my colleague on the panel, the ambassador from Azerbaijan, Ambassador Shafiev, in the sense that it is unrealistic to expect that the US will be engaged in all regions of the world. I like the way that he delineated, different areas of interest for the US and different partners. And I would have to say that for Central Asia and the Caspian region, I'm very happy to see that we have a strategy. The fact that there is a document that says, this is what we want to do with these countries, with the region. It might be aspirational in a lot of ways, but I think it's good that at least there is that foundation. That being said, there's been so much written about this strategy. Some people are calling it unprecedented, the first of its kind. I don't think it is in that sense. I think that, prior administrations have also had a strategy for Central Asia. So I don't think it's unprecedented. On the other hand, I don't think it's as terrible as others have made it out to be. I don't think it's necessarily unrealistic or, something that's incomplete or yet to be unrealized. I think that there's a lot of potential there. And I think what it really comes down to is, how are we going to do the things that we say we want in this strategy? And so when you look at what the basis is for the strategy, for aspirations for the region, yeah, it is things like independence, sovereignty, territorial integrity, and just the fact that the United States is in the region, working with our partners, I think is a very good sign. I do love the phrase great power competition, although I don't know that it's applicable to Central Asia. And I say that because I don't see the US as actively trying to compete with China or Russia in the region. I think there are areas of the world where we do, but I think in Central Asia, the United States has very concrete objectives, and we are working with our partners in the region on those objectives. So how are we going about this? Well, we've had a number of high-level bilateral visits over the last couple of years. In October 2018, you saw National Security Advisor John Bolton visit Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan, which I think was a really great symbol of, importance of our relationship with those countries. More recently in Central Asia, we've seen visits from Secretary Pompeo to Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, as well as Undersecretary Hale. I think that the fact that he's going to these countries and meeting with our partners there illustrates how much we want continuing and lasting relationships with countries like Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. Now, I know that the argument could be made, why aren't these officials visiting all the countries in the region? And I think that gets to the next part of the strategy, which is we have to be realistic. I think increasingly so in this COVID era, where we are now in a period of reduced resources and capabilities, in the sense of the US is going to have to make some hard decisions about where and how we partner. And this isn't even specific to Central Asia. I think we're going to see this internationally. And so when we look at the region, and this is Central Asia, this is the Caucasus, you're going to see the United States working with the countries that want to work with the United States. I have to say personally that, the United States gets a lot of criticism for not doing more in and with the region. But over the last 10 years, I've seen a lot of really good initiatives put forth by the United States and soundly rejected by countries in the region. So it isn't always a lack of interest by the United States. So I get very frustrated sometimes when I see, the United States' interest is waning or we're withdrawing from the region. I don't think that's the case at all. I think that in any relationship, you need partners that have mutual objectives. And if not all the partners are, willing and able to work together, then it's not going to work. So I think as a result, you're going to start to see the United States really focusing its efforts. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. But I think what it does do, and this goes to the question that was posed of, what would be the one ask of the United States? As someone who's not from the region, my advice would be to follow the words of the great philosophers Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, which is, it's not always about what you want, but sometimes it's about what you need. And I think that the countries in the region have to be very strategic about what it is that they need from their relationships with the United States and other partners working in the region. I'm going to end on that note because I don't want to run over time, but I really look forward to the discussion.